My name is Sam Alenikoff. For students, you may know me as Mr. A, and I'm going to be your moderator for this session. Importantly, before we get started, we would like to thank the Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights for their support of this event. They've partnered with this, and I know have a number of students attending as well, which is really, really wonderful. And we would love to extend a warm welcome to all of our panelists across the institutions that are represented today. I'm going to pass it over to the folks whose voices matter most in this conversation. So I'm going to pass it over to Jay Dudley from Atlanta Technical College first. I know Jay has a video that he's hoping to share, so let's try to cue that up and see how that works. Jay, you should have the ability to share your screen and cue it up at this point.
I will. So again, my name is Jay Dudley. I am the enrollment counselor here at Atlanta Technical College. I'm glad to be here today. I want to show you guys a video. Basically, it's a informational about 10 minutes, 10, 11 minutes, and it breaks down the enrollment process and also some of the other things as far as enrolling with Atlanta Tech. You would find some financial aid information in here. You would also find out about some of our competitive programs that's on this video. So what I wanted to do is go ahead and show that, which will probably answer a lot of the questions that you may have had about Atlanta Tech. And I'll be here to answer any questions at the end of the information session. Seems like I can't get the video to run right now. I'm still trying to learn the sharing part of it, but without the video. So Atlanta Tech offers over 180 programs. Majority of the students that we get to apply to Atlanta Tech is normally for one of our competitive programs, which is basically in our health field. So that would consist of programs like dental hygiene, physical therapy, also medical assisting, and our RN program. Right now, we are anticipating our summer semester, which starts on May 17th. The enrollment process is fairly easy. It's just a matter of filling out an application. We are waiving the $25 application fee. We're also waiving any classified or certified, excuse me, I'm getting kind of tongue-tied, transcripts, I'm sorry. So we are taking unofficial transcripts, test scores, whether they're SAT, ACT, or any placement test scores. We are also waiving those for the remainder of the 2021 school year. So what I'll do is I'll leave my contact information in the chat box. And for anyone that wants to have any further questions about Atlanta Tech, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm so very sorry I wasn't able to show the video because the video would have given you guys more information than what I'm able to give, just speaking points. So again, I am Jay Dudley, enrollment counselor at Atlanta Technical College. I will leave my information in the chat box and I look forward to speaking with you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yep, please
Yes,
do.
sir.
In a typical year, assuming there was no COVID, what are sort of typical test scores and grades that students need to have in order to gain admission?
So as far as that goes, you would any student that comes in with a 2.5 or higher, they would come right into into Atlanta Tech with what we call degree ready. Which means they would not have to take any learning support classes, which consist of the math and the English. They would go right into the degree program if it's the degree that they're pursuing. However, if they're looking for some of the certifications, that's even better because a lot of the certifications doesn't even require for the student to take general ed classes. So typically it's like a 2.5 GPA. If you're coming in as a degree ready student. If not, the student would have to either test out or they would have to take learning support classes.
Thank you.
And as a
My
quick
pleasure.
follow-up, if I can, Jay, if a student are there ever any students below that 2.0 threshold who are admitted and just have to take those learning support classes? Is that still feasible, or is there a hard cutoff often at 2.0?
No, sir. We definitely accept those who have more than a 2.5. We have an excellent learning support team and an excellent group of tutors that help students that are taking the learning support classes. And like I say, sometimes students are able to come into different programs, especially if it's a degree program, and they're able to take certain classes before actually taking the degree classes. So what some students would do is they would come in and they would test out, meaning before they get ready to convert over into the degree classes, they would actually go back and take the AccuPlacer test. And with that, if the scores are up to par, then they would not have to take the learning support at that point. They could just go right into the degree and start to take the degree classes, if that makes sense.
That does, and that's great. I see that we're up at 10:45. So if there are any further questions, by all means, feel free to ask them now, but we can also hold further questions for Atlanta Tech until after the other institutions are able to present as well. All right. So if there are no questions at this moment, let's pass it over to Miss Donna Frazier from Georgia State University Perimeter College. Are you there, Donna?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. You want to jump in?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, there we go. So, hey, everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. A, for this opportunity. And I'll be happy to share a slide with you. Let me pull up my sharing privileges. Share. Okay. Am I sharing? Yes.
We can
Okay.
see it.
Awesome.
Yes, I can see.
Oops. Slideshow. There we go. Okay. So I'll just share a brief slide with you and just give you some background about Perimeter College. All right. So Georgia State University as a whole now is ranked. So what you see on your screen right now are rankings through the U.S. News and World Report. So Georgia State is ranked as one of the best public universities for undergraduate teaching. And we are number 2 in the nation for being the most innovative. And in terms of incoming students, we are coming in at number 5. We're one of the fastest growing research institutions in the nation. And we also are a top performer as far as social mobility. I can't talk about Perimeter without talking about Georgia State, because now we are one university. As of 2015, Georgia State, Atlanta stood on its own. Perimeter College stood on its own as 2 separate institutions. And then we were consolidated, forming now the largest institution in the state of Georgia with over 53,000 students. There are endless opportunities as a Georgia State student. So as a Perimeter student, you are considered a Georgia State student as a whole. So I guess the best way to, in terms of how we call ourselves, we would say Georgia State's Perimeter College or Perimeter College at Georgia State University. So either way, you're in good shape if you express it that way. So In terms of our opportunities, our students have access to all sorts of customized opportunities in terms of internships and co-ops and study abroad. And it's just endless right now. These are some of the partners that we have. So students who are at Perimeter or at our Atlanta campus have opportunities to get internships, even our Perimeter students, because we're thinking your first year, you're focusing on your core classes, even into your second year. But around that time, that's when students start researching and wanting to find out who can I intern with. A lot of those internships would start around either summer of your sophomore semester or into the start of your junior year, but you want to start researching early so you know who we even partner with. So this is just a snapshot. It's not even the full gamut of who we partner with and where our students are gaining their opportunities. Okay. Now, in terms of schools and colleges, Georgia State has the Burdine F. Lewis College of Nursing, the Andrew Young College of Policy Studies, the College of Education and Human Development, College of the Arts, College of Arts and Sciences, the J. Mac Robinson College of Business. We have our Honors College, our College of Law, the Public Health College, and Perimeter College. Of course, on application deadlines, we are looking at August 1st. So for those of you who are still interested or have not yet applied to Perimeter, we have an application deadline of December 1st. I'm sorry, August 1st. So in terms of our campuses, we have 5 campuses around the metro Atlanta area, including Clarkston, Alpharetta, sorry about that. Clarkston, Alpharetta, Dunwoody, Decatur, and Newton. And I'm not sure how to go. There we go. So each campus offers students something a little bit different. So in terms of our Alpharetta campus, it is located off of Georgia 400. And in terms of the courses though, for all of our campuses, first 2 years, you're going to get your core classes. And another thing to think about with Perimeter is just the accessibility. So in terms of our Alpharetta campus, again, if you're anywhere north, Alpharetta may be the place to go. Our Clarkston campus is right kind of between Decatur and Stone Mountain. Sometimes I hear people say, where's Clarkston? Like I've never heard of Clarkston, Georgia. But it is kind of right there nestled between Decatur and Stone Mountain. We have our Decatur campus. One of the features about our Decatur campus is that it has a really nice garden there, and it is the home of our Perimeter Academy. So for students who are interested in any of the Georgia State LIFT programs, the Perimeter Academy is started at our Decatur campus and has now branched out to Dunwoody and Clarkston as well. And of course, our Dunwoody campus is north, sort of near Perimeter Mall in that area. Now, if you're thinking about why would I choose one campus over the other, in terms of programs, if you're doing Perimeter Academy, you can choose any of those campuses that I mentioned. If you are considering a career program at Georgia State's Perimeter College, then that's when you want to consider one campus over the other. While you're focusing on your core classes, it may not be that big of a deal, but when you transition into, say, the nursing program, then that would be offered at our Clarkston campus. Or if you're interested in our dental hygiene program, that would be offered at our Dunwoody campus. So in terms of career programs, that's when the campus makes the most difference. In terms of core classes in general, you could study at either campus. So some of the main benefits of perimeter, of course, is the accessibility around the metro Atlanta area. We're talking about savings, big savings in terms of costs. Our students are only paying a little over $1,700 per semester. And then you have smaller classroom sizes, which is really great. Nice transition right out of high school. A lot of students like the smaller classroom setting. And statistics have shown that in many instances, students who've transitioned from our perimeter college to our Georgia State Atlanta campus have a high or very competitive GPA in comparison to the students that started at our Atlanta campus as a freshman. So our perimeter students have a unlimited supply of resources, and again, our big selling points are the accessibility, the affordability, and the fact that you will be able to transition to the Atlanta campus once you are once you have met the main requirement, which is a minimum of 30 credits and a minimum of a 2.0 GPA. So once you have met those main requirements, you are able to transition from our perimeter campus to the Atlanta campus seamlessly. And of course, Georgia State is part of the University System of Georgia. So all of your credits, students have transfer power, even at the perimeter location. Our requirements for perimeter college students are that you have a minimum of a 2.0 GPA, and students who are in that range of a 2.5 and above. Prior to COVID, we did have some, our students were in somewhat already a test optional period, because prior to COVID, our students were, if they had a 2.5, and this is only for perimeter and above, they were not required to do any AccuPlacer placement testing. At that point, they were just required to, they would be eligible for what we call co-requisite courses, which means that the student would have their regular college level English, college level math, along with the support lab. So a English lab or a math lab. So that's what a student would be eligible for if they had anywhere ranging from a 2.5 GPA to a 2.9. If the student had a 3.0, then they would just be placed automatically in college level courses without the co-requisite or without the lab. So that gave students many options in terms of avoiding a lot of placement tests. And then, of course, if the student ranged from a 2.0 to a 2.4, then that student would have to take a placement exam, which would be the AccuPlacer, and we would have tested them in English, reading, and math. All right, so if there are, I'm going to now move to questions to see if anyone has any questions. And while you are thinking about your questions, I will try to, we're going to try this video thing and we'll try to share a video with you. So give me a second to maneuver here.
Donna, can you talk about costs? Tuition.
Yes, absolutely. So I will share that with you. I'm actually going to show you. They say seeing is believing, right? And then I'll share my screen again. All right, can you see that?
Yes.
All right, awesome. So this would be our most current fee scale, and it might be real little and tiny, like, oh, what is that? But I'll show you how to make sense of this. So if you see, here are the number of credits. So that 1, 2, and 3, each course is equates to at least 3 credits per class. So we're basically saying our per credit hour rate is $95 for in-state students. So it's like, you know, that's pretty good. And then if you look at the next block, that's what we charge our out-of-state students. But let's see if we can move our grid over to the side. And then now in my view, this all looks pretty clear and the numbers look pretty readable. Is that the same for you all?
Yes.
Yep, we can see.
Okay, great. So with that said, now if you look at the total tuition and fees for our in-state students, one class is going to cost a student $328. That's just, that is total. So that is with, now that's just the tuition. So when you add everything, for in-state with the fees and all, that course is going to cost them $613. But nobody really comes to school, right, and just takes one class. So let's look down a little on the slide, and right there where you see 1680, that is about what a student would pay for 12 credits, which is the average for students studying full-time. So as you know, 12 credits is the minimum for full time, and that's about 4 classes. So that student would pay right there at that 1680. So I just typically round it up to about $1,700, but it's so, some people are just like feeling like it's so unbelievable. So I just wanted to show you all, you know, what is a public record so that you could see for yourself what the tuition at Perimeter is. It is so unbelievable. And I don't know why more students don't see it as a viable option if they do have trouble getting into the Atlanta campus, that the Perimeter cost being $1,700 for full-time, you know, full-time student, if they are eligible for the Pell Grant at all, and they get, you know, the full allotted amount for Pell, now you're talking about paying off your tuition for the semester, even having some refund to come back to you that you can reinvest in books or supplies or transportation or any way they need to use that refund. So thank you for asking me about the cost, so I can share with you the affordability, and it is definitely a doable option for many, many students. They just need to know the value, that they can say, I am a Georgia State student at $1,700 per semester.
Who's eligible for the Pell Grant?
So in terms of, we honestly, about 80% of our students are eligible or Pell eligible. So it's going to, at the end of the day, be based on the family's household income, or the student's household income. So when their parents complete their taxes and provide that information, that's when the federal government makes the decision of how much aid that student is eligible for. What I like is that students can layer their funds. So they can, if they're eligible for Pell based on their household income, and they get that full amount, which is a little over $6,000, which then is split between their fall and spring semester primarily. Then if they happen to be a 3.0 student and now they're eligible for the Hope Scholarship, if they have that, at least the 3.0 Hope GPA, now they've got federal funds, now they've got state funds, so they're well layered there. If they're eligible for the LIFT program or the State Farm Perimeter Academy or State Farm Scholars program, then that's another layer. So I've seen students, Perimeter College students, take advantage and layer those funds in at least 3 ways. And then that's not even talking about any additional external scholarships that may be out there that they have applied for. So they can really stack up the cash and not have any loan debt if they do it wisely.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know how much time I have, so you can give me the thumbs up if I need to wrap up. The video was just a few seconds. It was just going to be showing everybody how that great day when Perimeter and Georgia State consolidated. And but if not, maybe at the end or
Yeah, let's jump over to leap year, because I think you actually give a really good segue as you're talking about additional programs that partner with Georgia State and other ways and other avenues into Georgia State. I think you gave a great segue. So let's jump over to leap year if we can.
All
And
right.
at the end, if you want to keep the video queued up though, Donna, and at the end, as we get to the Q&As, maybe we can show the video then, if that works for you.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Perfect.
I'm off camera. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I'm going to pass it over to Amber to talk to us about leap year. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mr. A. This is Amber, Executive Director of Leap Year here, and I'm excited to talk to you about our program. I'm going to share screen. It says, can I get access to sharing screen, please?
Yep, let me do that right now. Sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, you should have access now.
All right, let's see. Nope, still says host disabled, participant screen sharing.
Okay, try it again now.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, great.
Sorry
Thank you.
about that.
All right, so hopefully everyone can see this. Yes, perfect. All right, so again, my name is Amber Scott, Executive Director of Leap Year. And yes, it is a good segue because Leap Year is a unique program, and we actually partner with Georgia Perimeter and Georgia State University. So we are a little bit of a unique option for students, but I'm excited to share a little bit more about our program. We are college, we are higher education through our partnership with Georgia State, but we are also a professional development job. So let's get into it. Basically, Leap Year is a 1-year full-time job where you're taking free classes at Georgia State and tutoring second graders. So it's really focused on 3 things. Number 1, you are taking classes at Georgia State Perimeter. You are giving back as a literacy coach to second grade students. And then thirdly, we're really focused on professional development and mentorship for your career. So one big element of Leap Year is the community that we built. So something unique about our program is that we call our folks fellows. So the recent high school graduates, we call them Leap Year fellows. Everyone is in this cohort program together. So you're going to take your classes at Georgia State together. You're going to tutor the second graders together. We'll have mentors that you share. And so it really is about going into college with a community, which is kind of a neat option. And so you're basically starting college with built-in friends and with this network of program managers who are there to support you on your journey. We also do make sure we have time for fun trips, especially now that we're on the other side of COVID. We'll be able to go, places, have fun trips. We go to work corporate offices will go and do to parks, and so we also make sure that we have some fun and do some opportunities to get out of the normal routine every now and then. So we do have a really big focus on academics. As I mentioned, we partner with Georgia State. Our leap year fellows are Georgia State students. It is a different freshman year experience though. So many freshmen will start off freshman year taking 4 or 5 classes each semester. At leap year, you are taking 1 class per semester, and that is so that we've got enough time to do all of these other things. So leap year fellows take English 1101 in the fall, so that's your freshman English, and you take math in the spring. So again, you are a college freshman getting college credits. It's just instead of taking 4 or 5 classes at once, you're taking 1 class in the spring, 1 class in the fall, 1 class in the spring. And we've got our tutors there who will help proofread your essays or answer questions on your math homework to support you in your classes. Couple other things. Your classes are free to use. So either Pell will pay for your classes or Leap Year will pay for your classes, but these are free classes, which is a big deal. And then we also will help our students apply to other colleges. So Leap Year is a great option for folks who want to test the waters at Georgia State, but also are really interested in applying to, I don't know, Fort Valley or University of West Georgia or some other colleges. So it's a chance for you to see if you like Georgia State, and then you can stay on afterwards. Or if you like Georgia State, but you are really interested in another school, Leap Year will actually help you transfer those credits to another college, which is kind of cool too. So another big part of the program is our career mentorship. So this is a paid position. So Leap Year Fellows earn $500 per month to participate in this program. So you're taking classes at Georgia State, but you're also earning money. And so a big part of our goal is that you're getting professional development. And so most of our Leap Year Fellows, they maybe had a job at like Kroger or, Chick-fil-A, or you've had some jobs, but not a professional job. This is an opportunity for folks to get some professional experience and actually have a professional job on their resume, which will help you get internships and jobs after college. In addition, we also provide mentors. So this year we're partnering with State Farm. And so those are folks who actually meet with our fellows on a frequent basis and give career advice, help you figure out what major you want, help you figure out what career path is right for you. So we also are really focused on this professional development of helping you learn how to be in an office workplace, and then also learn how to use your college degree for a career. And then, of course, a big focus of Leap Year is giving back. So our Leap Year Fellows are 2nd grade teachers. That is a big part of why you all are paid, is so that you can serve as reading coaches to 2nd grade. We're seeing such a big impact of COVID-19. And so you get to really help these young students be where you are in 10 years, right? And so really helping these young kids learn how to read so that they can be on their way to college like you are. And so it's a great opportunity for folks who really care about the community and want to give back, to have an opportunity to do that while taking college classes. All right, and then these are some Leap Year Fellows here. Obviously, some of these pictures were pre-COVID, but these are real young folks who are out here helping to make the community stronger while they're in college. Okay, so I think largely it's juniors and parents in the room, but if you want to learn more, the application is here, leapyearfellows.org. If there are any seniors in the room or parents of seniors or teachers, please go ahead and encourage them to apply today, because we do have a few spots left in this upcoming cohort. But keep us in mind if you are a junior or a parent. We will be recruiting earlier in the fall next year. And so the way that we accept folks into our program is you apply online. You do not at leapyearfellows.org. You do not need to have already been accepted into Georgia State. It doesn't help if you have. So you can apply if you've been accepted already. If you haven't, that's not a problem. We will help you apply for Georgia State. But you do need to apply to Leap Year at leapyearfellows.org. then we'll schedule you for an interview, and then we'll let you know if you've been accepted. So if I will open it up if anyone has any questions, but if anyone wants to screenshot this information, you can take a screenshot of our website. And then also, if you've got any follow-up questions you want to ask privately, you can text this number to Zoe, one of our program managers. But yeah, I'll open it up if anyone's got any questions.
What are eligibility requirements?
Yes, great question. So you need to be a graduating senior. So for this year, class of 2021, we're going to open up the applications next in the fall in about September. So again, that would be for next year's cohort. It would be for class of 2022. We do look at your GPA. You do need to have above a 2.0. I'd say our average GPA is between a 2.5 and a 3.0. So 2.0 is a little bit on the lower end, but doesn't make you ineligible. But we do tend to see folks with slightly higher GPAs. And then you do need to be passionate about giving back. This is really a great role that you're going to have mentoring second graders, but you've got to be passionate about serving as a mentor to second graders and passionate about college and post-secondary. So that's a little bit about what we look for. Is we do look at GPA. You do need to be eligible in the sense that you are a graduating senior. And then we are going to interview you. So we do also want to see that folks are able to be professional, because it is a professional job.
Then what happens at the end of the program, the 1 year?
Yep. So at the end of leap year, students have the option of if they want to be a full-time student at Georgia State, or if they want to be a full-time student at another college. So what I will say is 90% of our students choose to stay on at Georgia State. We love Georgia State. They're a great partner of ours, and our fellows really enjoy the classes that they take at Georgia State. But if a student decides, hey, I really want to go to this other school, we will help them transfer the credits that they earned through leap year in Georgia State to another college. So at the end of the year, our fellows are full-time college students, mostly at Georgia State, but they could also attend another school if they like.
Thank you.
Good.
Exciting program. Thank you.
Thank you. I think so too. Can
I go back to, can I come back and take that program?
I wish. I feel like you would be a great leap year fellow.
So if there aren't any other questions, I'll just give one little pitch. College AIM has had a number of students go through the leap year program, and I will say that our students who go through leap year are so much more prepared to approach the rest of their college experience than our other students who just start their freshman year directly out of school without additional supports like leap year. The type of mentorship and preparation they have for college and beyond is really unmatched from what I've seen in other programs. I don't know of another program like Leap Year that provides those types of supports freshman year and has the dual professional development lens and college development lens. And College AIM has had a number of students go through the program now, and I couldn't be a bigger fan of the work that Leap Year does.
Thank you. We're a big fan of College AIM, of course, as well. So thanks for the shout out, Sam, and inviting us here.
Appreciate it. Thank you for joining, Amber. I am going to pivot over to Georgia Piedmont Technical College. Unfortunately, they're having a few technical difficulties on their end, but I am going to share their PowerPoint and do my best to speak on their behalf. I've been on a lot of college tours to Georgia Piedmont before and spent a lot of time in information sessions, so I will do my best job to convey information. I know that we also still do have an admissions representative. Her name is Amy. She's actually under the name Corey Parker because Corey couldn't be here and Amy is there on his behalf. So if you have any questions that I cannot answer, you probably will have questions that I cannot answer. Feel free to put them in the chat and they will, and they'll be able to answer them through the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen though, and just get going. So Georgia Piedmont Technical College is a technical college in the technical college system of Georgia. They're one of the oldest and most respected technical colleges in the state of Georgia. And I know that their footprint is largely in DeKalb County, although I imagine they have students from across the state who come and attend. They have guaranteed transferable courses within the university system of Georgia. And then they also have articulation agreements with a number of other public and private colleges and universities. So there are certainly transferable credits that you can earn at Georgia Piedmont and ultimately transfer elsewhere too. As I mentioned, it is a technical college. It's in the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges. A few quick facts. It used to be known as DeKalb Tech or DeKalb Technical College and was established in 1961. So I guess this is the 50-year anniversary, which is a big deal. It's part of the technical college system of Georgia. They've got 3 different campuses, that being DeKalb, Newton, and Rockdale counties. I imagine most of the folks on this call are probably most interested in the DeKalb County, in the DeKalb County location, which is located in Clarkston, actually right next door to the Georgia State Perimeter campus in Clarkston and across the street from Clarkston High School. Their average class size is 20-1, so you get a lot of close interaction with your professors and your instructors, and you're getting a lot of hands-on real-life experience. They have a lot of different options for the timing of classes and online versus hybrid class formats. I'll say that I've noticed from College AIM students who've gone there, the students who do the in-person classes and from College AIM's perspective tend to do really, really well their freshman year. So often those in-person options work well for students. You'll see huge numbers of their students are receiving jobs in their fields upon graduation. And you'll see a few of their top programs listed here being nursing, interdisciplinary studies, business management, early childhood education, and medical assisting. I know that College AIM has had students go through the nursing programs, also go through programs in auto maintenance and also programs in cosmetology. So they have just a huge array of programs on their campuses. As we heard from Atlanta Tech, the technical college system of Georgia often has schools with 3 different pathways towards success. So you'll see associate degrees, you'll see post-secondary diplomas, and then you'll also see a certificate of credit. So those certificate programs tend to be the shortest, and then post-secondary diploma programs tend to be a little longer, and then the associate degree programs tend to be the longest, where you're looking at 2 to 2.5 years. So when I talk with students about this, the key is that you're able to get to your post-secondary credential in a short period of time, and you're able to get to work pretty quickly. On campus, they have some really wonderful career service and career development opportunities. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that because I see what's on the screen, but I don't know as much about that item. But here's a list of a number of the different programs that you can choose from. I know another program that students have been particularly interested in recently has been the Recording Arts Technology program. So students who are interested in music production, that's a really great program for them there as well. I know College AIM has a lot of students interested in that field, so we're able to funnel them over to Georgia Piedmont, and that's a pretty unique program. There aren't a ton of schools that have that. You'll see there are also a number of other programs listed on here though. And so the first, I should say, were the associate degree programs. These are the post-secondary diplomas. So I mentioned cosmetology before. We've had students go for air conditioning technology, kind of in the HVAC type world, and a number of others. We've also had students who've done the motorcycle service technology, medical assisting. So there are a lot of great programs at each of these levels. These are the technical certificates of credit. You'll see there are a lot of these programs. And if you go actually on the Georgia Piedmont website, you'll be able to look kind of at these in groups based on what your area of interest may be. So I really encourage you to just go over to their website and get a bit more information there as well. All right, so the next section is going to talk about admission into the program. It's a multi-step process. So here's kind of the way you go through it. First, you're going to complete an online admissions application, again, on their website, gptc.edu, or you can visit them in person on the DeKalb or Newton campuses and complete a paper application there. You're going to have to submit your high school transcript or your GED scores, and then you can submit testing. If you submit testing, whether that is the ACT, the SAT, Compass, Asset, AccuPlacer, or you can actually take a placement test at Georgia Piedmont Technical College. And a lot of our students who haven't taken the SAT or the ACT, have taken that placement exam on campus at Georgia Piedmont, and it works really smoothly. After that, you're going to submit your verification of lawful presence and Georgia residency so you can get in-state tuition, and you are going to apply for financial aid on FAFSA. So there are a few quick tips to make this go quickly. You want to make sure you're using your government name as it's listed. Make sure your social security number is correct and have that on file. Make sure you're checking your address, you're checking your mail at your address, you're checking your phone, you're checking your email. Make sure you're checking things regularly. If you're doing a paper application, write legibly, because they can't type it in and can't process it if they can't read it. And make sure that you include your program of study on your application. So when you apply, I think most students who are probably listening in now, or who will be hearing from the folks listening in now, are probably new students, but you can also apply as one of the other categories of students as well. Make sure that you are submitting, as we mentioned, your transcripts from your high school, or if you have attended college before, from your previous college as well. I don't think that this will likely apply, but if you do have foreign high school or college transcripts, they can accept those as well through a variety of services. And the AccuPlacer, again, I love what it says at the top here, no pressure. It simply determines where you start. This is a placement test. It is just to determine if you need some additional basic skills through kind of a learning support math or learning support English class before you get started. And they even give us a study guide that students can use to prep for the AccuPlacer. Unlike the SAT and the ACT, there's no time limit, so students can really take their time. And I've seen students who struggle on the SAT or ACT end up doing really well with the AccuPlacer because of that. Due to COVID-19, students can submit unofficial high school transcripts. But once the college resumes normal operations, then they can submit official transcripts. Also, students are no longer required to take the placement exam as long as they have at least a 2.0 GPA or higher. If they're below that 2.0, they'll be required to take the placement exam. And a learning support class might be required, though, if you have a high school GPA below a 2.5 in a degree program or below a 2.3 in a diploma program. I sense that that's pretty similar to Atlanta Tech. So again, below a 2.0, you can still be admitted. You just have to take the placement exam. Between a 2.0 and a 2.5, without the placement exam, you're probably going to have to take the placement exam, the AccuPlacer. And if not, you're going to have to take learning support classes. And again, above a 2.5, no placement exam necessary, no learning support classes necessary. You're just directly into your core classes. And the AccuPlacer can even be taken at home. So for verification of lawful presence, and this goes across all institutions, this is helpful information. Submitting a valid Georgia license or state ID, not license plate, but license, is going to be sufficient. And this is going to help determine residency classification. If you are not selected for in-state tuition, there are ways to petition that, and those are listed here as well. And Georgia Piedmont can certainly help with that. I know there are some questions about tuition. So this gives you a sense of what tuition would look like. This is again for a full-time student. So that green highlighted number is critical. It's just under $1,600. One of the great things about all of the institutions on today's session is that all of these are incredibly affordable options, and especially for our in-state students. And this is based on being registered for 12 credit hours. Above 12, so as you get closer to 15, it may be a little bit more. If you're a part-time student, it'll certainly be a little bit less as well. Let's talk financial aid real quick. So if a student does receive the Pell Grant, especially a full Pell Grant when they complete their FAFSA, it will more than cover their cost of attendance at Georgia Piedmont. When college AIM students have gone to Georgia Piedmont in the past, they have usually received actually refund checks, and they're able to put that money towards other educational expenses, whether it's travel to campus or books or other kind of study supplies or food that they may need or anything along those lines. There's also the federal SEOG grant that students can qualify for. Students can also qualify for work study. And then students can qualify for the Hope Scholarship or the Hope Grant. There are also scholarships that Georgia Piedmont offers and some others as well. Make sure that when you complete your FAFSA, you do your best to use the data retrieval tool. If folks have questions about that, definitely ask after the fact, and I'm happy to answer them. But that data retrieval tool will make FAFSA move a lot more smoothly, and will make this process move more smoothly because you are less likely to be selected for verification, which just kind of is one extra hiccup where you have to submit some additional forms. So there are some federal funds that I mentioned that we just overviewed. Those come from completing the FAFSA. There's also the Hope Scholarship and the Hope Grant. This is not based on needing the money or financial need. It's based on the program type and or GPA. So the Hope Scholarship is available to students seeking a degree, and the Hope Grant is available to students seeking diplomas or certificates. And the financial award amounts are determined each semester, and it's also based on how many credits you're awarded. So the value of those grants or scholarships may change. But if you actually go through the Georgia Student Finance Commission, you can even just Google Hope Scholarship amounts. You'll be able to see exactly what those amounts are for each individual school based on credits each year. So there are a whole host of support services on campus. I'm not going to read through all of them, but I know that students have found a lot of support in career services, disability services, the Learning Resource Center in particular, and the Student Success Center. I've seen students really tap into those and do well at Georgia Piedmont. So these are just a few quick reminders. You don't want to wait, you want to get started. Once you've been accepted, this is a key one. You definitely want to meet with an academic advisor so you can prepare your kind of educational plan and also get registered for classes. And you also want to attend new student orientation. Quick notes, the national graduation average for public two-year colleges is 62%, for private two-year colleges is 67%, and Georgia Piedmont is 70%. So this is a school that is doing it right for sure. If you want to screenshot this so you have a contact directly at Georgia Piedmont, you can go ahead and do so. Also, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. Again, Corey Parker is the name that you are looking for to answer some questions there. I'm going to stop my screen share at this point so we can all see each other again. And give me just 1 second. I'm going to jump over to our next section. So I know at the beginning of today's session, I mentioned that we had colleges online, and we also are lucky enough to be joined by one current student. Let me make sure he is still here and has been here throughout. Yeah. Perfect. Yes, I see Van Cleveland is on here. Awesome. So we are lucky enough to be joined by a student from Georgia State University, Georgia State's Perimeter College, and that is Van Cleveland Williams. So I am going to just allow Van Cleveland to introduce himself. Van Cleveland, do you want to come off mute and say a quick hello?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. So I want to open the floor up to others to ask questions because I think your perspective is going to be really, really critical here, both for students and for other people to hear. But if I can actually just tee it off with the first question for you, do you mind sharing a little bit about why you chose to attend Georgia State's Perimeter College and what your experience has been like, and then maybe other folks can jump in?
Okay. So I wasn't necessarily on time to get into college. I didn't participate in a decision day or anything like that. I had to take my time because, I had some things going on at school that still needed to be fixed, but I felt like Georgia State perimeter was the best decision for me because, for one, I'm into film, and that's the best place in Georgia, in Georgia to participate in film. So I said, well, I could go to the 2 year, see how I like it. And I love it so far. It's been an amazing experience. And even though I'm still at home online doing classes, it's kind of been a struggle, but I've learned how to manage.
Awesome. Thanks for that introduction, Van Cleveland. That's really helpful. Does anyone else on the call have any questions for Van Cleveland about his experience at Georgia State's Perimeter College thus far, or maybe more broadly, just about student life? If not, I'm happy to keep going with them, and we can have questions for any of the panelists at this point. But I would love to open up the floor for others to ask questions too, of course.
I got a question. How was the transition from high school to college?
Um, it was really weird because we didn't have like the traditional graduation ceremony and prom and stuff like that. And for me to go from in-person classes from 2016 all the way to March 2020, and then to go online to finish the rest of my high school year and into college, it's really weird, but it taught me how to be more responsible, learn better time management, and yeah, that's pretty much how it went for me.
So I guess I'll follow up if there isn't anyone who's jumping in right now. Van Cleveland, do you mind talking a little bit about like what's allowed you to be successful this year? Are there support systems through the school? Has it been meeting with advisors? Has it been any other mentors? Has it been anything else that you've learned along the way? What's allowed you to be successful so far this year?
So my first semester, it was pretty tough, I'll admit, because like I said before, I'm at home doing online classes, and I have a good support system here. My parents both, helped me look out for me, and also I had Jamisha, look out for me every month, check in to see how I was doing, and uh, basically that's how that went for me. And this semester, it's been a lot better because I've gotten to go on campus and participate in things, and I joined an organization to not stay trapped in my room all day, to get interaction with more people. So it's been really great.
If you had any advice I'm sorry, there was another question. Did I hear someone else jumping in with a question there? I might be hearing things. Okay. If you had any advice for students who are current seniors and who are going to be transitioning to college this coming year, what would that be? What would you encourage them? Or juniors who are thinking about college and are going to be transitioning a year from now? What's that advice look like to help with the transition?
Just go in with a really confident mindset, going with the I've been here before mindset, and don't be scared to take risk. Take a decent amount of classes. Don't overwhelm yourself with a lot of classes. And like I said before, time management, that's really, really big. And yeah, that's pretty much my advice for everyone.
Would you advise them to consider in-person classes over online classes, or online? Like what is that? How do you feel about that balance?
That's a good question. I would say do online classes, now that everything is kind of cleared up, yeah, I would say do online classes so you can get more interaction and you're not like just trapped in your room or dorm or anything like that all day and not getting like human interaction like that. You need that.
So the human interaction has kind of allowed for things to work a little bit better this semester.
Absolutely.
Awesome. If we can, maybe we'll open it up to the full panel, so to all the different college representatives who are on now. And I definitely have a few questions I've been jotting down, but I'll start by opening the floor back up to see if anyone else on the call has any questions for any of the college representatives who are here currently. All right, I'll jump in then. I'm happy to ask. So the first that's really critical for me as I think about our students who head off to school, I want to make sure that they're landing in a supportive place, in a place that has systems on campus, that has people on campus that have our students back. And I would love to ask, I guess, both for Atlanta Technical College and Georgia State's Perimeter College, what types of support systems are in place to make sure that students feel like they have the support they need to really make it through graduation?
Okay, well, I can answer. I can answer that, Mr. A. Coming from Atlanta Tech, we have a couple of things in place. One is we are a very family. I could say we're very family oriented at Atlanta Tech, and what I mean about that is a lot of the students that comes in, they will register for school, and it's a quite a few of them in their journey may have some hardships or things like that that comes up. Um, Sometimes we go above and beyond to make sure the student completes whatever classes that they need to complete, whatever program that they need to complete. And that may consist of tutoring, or we also have counseling services that are free for our students. So whatever they may be going through mentally, psychologically, of some things going on at home, and they're still trying to balance that school life balance. We have uh, we have services that assist students with that as well. Um, so I think for the most part that that is one of the main things that we offer, because as an enrollment counselor, I do see a lot of times where students will, they will make that conscious decision to get in school, and once they get in school, within their journey they have certain uh, bumps and bruises or things like that that comes up against them, and a lot of them will think about withdrawing from school, or you know uh, the morale is kind of low, so they feel as though they can't continue. So that's why I say we have like that family component, because all it takes is for them to realize that, hey, if I believe in you, you can do this. And I've seen where a lot of students will go through that, and all it takes is for a conversation by a teacher or an advisor, administrator, or someone like that, and we actually help to foster the relationship with the students, so they can basically get done what they needed to get done and come out on the other side of whatever those issues may be.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Jay. Donna, do you think you can speak to the support systems on Georgia State's campus as well? I think you may still be on mute there, Donna.
Oh, okay. Do you see me okay? Because I did turn off a few lights. Okay. So Perimeter has a number, of course, of supports. Everything from, of course, our basic, our learning and tutoring center, counseling services. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, Perimeter Academy and the LIFT programs. We also have TRIO, which is designed for first gen students. And so in terms of, when a student comes in, we're looking at them overall to see what their needs might be from, your first gen, you need to plug in with Trio. They do mentoring, field trips, just opportunities for speakers to come in. And of course, they do have their own tutorers, or they make sure that students are tutored. And so they're checking up on those students throughout. And so they do have a very like a nice family oriented cohort. And 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 in terms of our counseling services, just like Jay mentioned, if students are experiencing test anxiety, or if they've had a major issue, something happened in their life that's challenging their ability to focus, so then they can meet with a counselor. We have academic advisors that help the students along the way. They don't have to pick their own classes. They can work with academic advising that will help them through that process. So we definitely have a number of supports that kind of pad the student, or comfort them through their studies or their matriculation period.
That's really helpful, Donna. Thank you. And this is a question that I guess goes to both Jay, Donna, and also Van Cleveland. Just maybe approach it from different sides here. With finding those supports in college and finding advising in college, how much of that is advisors seeking you out and those support systems finding you, and how much is it as a student you really needing to be more proactive to go and ask for help? I feel like in high school there's kind of this um, it's a little tougher to slip through the cracks, has been my experience at least, because there are counselors who are going to seek you out. There are teachers who are going to tell you when things are due. And I'm wondering what that balance looks like in college, and maybe specifically at each of the campuses, or each of the schools who are represented here.
So from on the campus of Atlanta Tech, I think it works twofold. I think it's a conscious effort on both ends. From a from an administration standpoint, or from a faculty and staff standpoint, what we would do is, whether it's through some of our events, or, whether it's our orientation or award programs, usually what we do is we'll have booths set up for students, to be more visible to students, for them to see, hey, this is here for if I have any, if I need any assistance with anything, I can go to this particular table, and these services are offered at this booth or at this table. I also would say that a lot of word of mouth is really good as far as, student and administrator, or student and teacher. Side note, let me just say, I'm a former student of Atlanta Tech. So before I became an enrollment counselor, I was a student. So I think one of my purposes is, to look at things the way that I saw it as a student. So a lot of times when I'm speaking to students, I can get out of the enrollment counselor uh, tag and actually speak to them from being a former student. And I always, tell them to be proactive about, what it is that you're looking for, what you need assistance with, what you need help with. On the flip side of that, as a faculty and staff member who was once a student, sometimes I can pick up on when a student needs assistance with something, be it if it's a conversation that I may overhear, prior to COVID, walking down the halls, hear students say something, as far as what they need or something like that. I pick up on that and I would assist. So I think it works twofold when you're talking about, when you're in college. I think a lot of students don't realize a lot of the services that uh, that are there for them, and a lot of times that's because they're so used to the hustle and bustle of school. You know, they're especially from a technical school standpoint, because majority of the population we have in technical schools is a much older demographic. So a lot of these students, you know, they already have families, they already have jobs or careers. So you know, their main focus is to get in and get out. Whereas for a much younger demographic, you know, they may need, you know, that extra push to get them to where they need to be. So speaking from, you know, Atlanta Tech's perspective, and me being a former student, I think it works twofold. I think it's on both the administrator, the faculty, the staff member, as well as the student.
Thanks, Jay. Either Van Cleveland or Donna, do y'all want to jump in and speak a bit from your perspectives on that as well?
Yeah. So to piggyback pretty much off of what Jay said, so in my first semester, I had a math class where I had two separate teachers, and they made sure that we got everything we needed each week. And also, I had another teacher from another class, you know, reach out and get the students more involved in, you know, more activities like every week. It was my like the first semester seminar. We did meetings every Monday, and the teacher would, you know, basically see where everyone was as far as, you know, work or, you know, just life, things like that. And as far as like advisors go, you could tell that, you know, they put themselves in our shoes and understood, you know, things that we're going throughout, you know, our first year, the first weeks and stuff like that. And the support system is amazing. Like, I there's absolutely nothing wrong about it, and I loved it.
That's great. I really appreciate hearing the student perspective here, Van Cleveland. Thank you.
No problem.
Donna, anything to add from your side here in terms of kind of which direction it needs to go at Georgia State, and are folks reaching out to students, or students reaching out to the support systems? How do they approach that?
All right, had to unmute. So absolutely, when I think when students are familiar with some of the supports or where everything is located, then it's in some instances, it's the student just kind of knowing where the services are or what's available, and then just taking that initiative to go and seek that out or search that out. I know we do have some alert systems that are built in. So, you know, where students are getting text messages if they're not coming to class, which is a little different for college, because what I like about the alert system is, yes, college is a business, but we also care. So when we're sending out an alert to a student saying, hey, it looks like either you need to meet with your academic advisor, looks like there's been a shift in your GPA, looks like you're not coming to class, are you okay? You know, so that's a kind of a twofold. So it's one way where students are getting the information coming right to them, telling them we're noticing systematically, we're noticing a shift in your performance. So here's where you should go to get some help. And then there's the student themselves. So I think collectively, the students are able to definitely stay on course. I also recommend that students get involved in activities. Sometimes it's all about just having a network right there at your fingertips. You know, a lot of times they jump on GroupMe, and they're communicating with each other via GroupMe about this course or this teacher, or, go here, go there. So just really getting involved. Don't be an island. Don't be, just kind of in your own silo, but just to really get out there and network and find out what the resources are. That is definitely a road or key to success.
That's helpful. I appreciate that guidance, and it's really cool to hear about the text messages that students are getting. I think that's pretty unique, and I know it's something that Georgia State has definitely gotten a lot of attention about nationally. And I know students of ours have certainly appreciated that in the past, and it's been helpful to get them on track. I have one final question, and this one's for you, Donna, as well. I've heard you mention a couple times the State Farm Scholars Program and also the LIFT program, and I think it may be helpful. I know we've had students in those programs before who've done really well, but if you could give a little bit more context on what those are and what types of supports they provide or scholarship incentives, things like that.
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you. So with the Perimeter Academy as a whole, or that part of the LIFT program, it's more of a summer start program. Students are placed into cohorts. They take some courses that just really get them ready, provide some supports around them, give them some insights into the institution, how things work, where you should go. So none of this is a mystery to them come fall semester. So, but the whole point though of that program is they have to guarantee, or they have to commit to that summer start for the Perimeter Academy. The State Farm Scholar Program, that's a little bit different. So there is actually a financial incentive with the State Farm Scholar, which would be a fall semester start. And that student would actually be awarded scholarship monies. Now, a Perimeter Academy student could essentially end up being a State Farm Scholar if they, but they would have to prove themselves through the summer as a student who is serious, who's consistent throughout that summer program, and then typically they could be at that point eligible to participate in the State Farm Scholar. It wouldn't be a guarantee, but they line themselves up to be a good candidate. So it's kind of like one is more support, cohort oriented, and the other one is an actual scholarship.
And how do students, when should students consider applying for the State Farm Scholarship? Is there an earlier deadline for that? And how does that usually work?
Now, honestly, I may be a little rusty on the deadlines for, but they would align. I would think they would align closely to the admissions deadlines that cycle. We do, in general, have an early admission or early deadline for scholarships and things of that nature. So say, for example, where Perimeter College would have an typical August 1st deadline, an early deadline would be maybe December, could be an early action deadline for scholarships and things of that nature. So
The students who are interested in the State Farm Scholars Program and scholarship.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to, because I used to work with the State Farm Scholar a little closely when they first came to the Atlanta campus or to the Decatur campus, but have gotten a little deadline, honestly. But again, I would think that those deadlines would align with the Perimeter College application deadline, which is August 1st. So while we're talking, I will look to see if there's anything different than that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're running up against 12 o'clock, which is our close time today. So I don't know, Van Cleveland or Jade, any final closing thoughts on for students as they approach this process, or reasons students should really be considering Atlanta Technical College closely, or anything along those lines? For Van Cleveland, obviously, for Georgia State in your experience too.
Yeah, it's a really good decision. I mean, it took me some time to, go through and think it over, but this is the best decision I made.
Glad to hear that. And you should be really proud of where you are right now, Van Cleveland. I know we haven't talked in a while, but Ms. Jamisia keeps me in the loop and has told me that you've just done really well this semester and been through a tough semester I mean, for students this year who've made it through this first year of college, through a year of COVID and remote classes and a transition that has been especially tough, you should be really proud about where you are. Congratulations, and thank you so much for joining today, truly.
No problem.
So I just dropped a link in the chat regarding the Perimeter Academy and the LIFT programs. So the site is not showing any additional or different deadlines. So I'm going to stick with I feel like I'm on a game show. I'm going to stick with my first answer, which is that the deadlines would align the application timeline, which is August 1st.
Thank you so much. That's really helpful.
You're welcome.
Any other final thoughts before we sign off today, or any other final questions from the folks who are here?
How can we get a copy of the this PowerPoint and this presentation?
So afterwards, I will, this has all been recorded. So afterwards, we will be emailing this presentation as well as the presentations for the other two presentations that were done today to any participant. So you'll get an email in the next day or two with this video recording, as well as the video recordings for four-year colleges and the out-of-state highly selective colleges. And please feel free to share them widely with anyone who you think would benefit. If you have any questions for any of the panelists, I believe that we have a few of them who've dropped their contact information in the chat already. If you want to follow up with me or have any questions, I can also drop my contact information in the chat. Now, and my phone number, which is my cell. I know we're out of the office currently still, so my cell is what I've been using. Feel free to text or call at that number as well. Yeah. Thank you for asking that. That's an important question. Any other final questions or final comments? All right. Well, that brings us to the end of our session today then. Thank you so much for joining. To all of our panelists, thank you very much for being part of today's session. And a special thank you to Van Cleveland, to our student who joined us. Again, one final thank you as well to the Beacon Hill Black Alliance for Human Rights for their support of this event as well. We really loved having everyone involved, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Oh, I would like to drop my phone number in the chat, so that's on record since it's going to be recorded, if that's okay.
Yes, please do. Please do. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right. Awesome.
Perfect. On record. Thanks so much. We'll see y'all soon.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.